walked out my house. I had strength and conditioning, and I packed up all my stuff. I walked out my house. I'm like, it's hot today. I think I screwed myself.
Dude, it's a beautiful day. You should be going tank top or something.
Yeah, I'm gonna go out after this.
So, brother, thanks for coming on the show. We're rolling. Sir. I've been trying to get you on for a long time.
Yeah.
You know this. I've tagged you. I've harassed you a little bit. I haven't heard back. I harassed everybody who's on the show. And this is the reason why. Every single person I've talked to so far, literally on every show or outside of the show, brings up your name. Which goes, I think, a long way as far as who you are as a fighter, as a person, and the dedication you have for the sport.
Yeah.
Can you kind of tell me why you think that is?
I mean, honestly, I think it's just how hard I work, you know, and it's not. I don't do it like I don't try to be that like person. Like, oh, like I do this, I do that. It's just who I am, you know. I think I enjoy training more than anybody else on this planet. You know, like if I had to work a 9-to-5 job to support training, like I would do that just so I could train because I literally love training. Like especially right now where I just fought, like training right now is the most fun. I just love it. I love MMA. I love trying to make myself the best fighter I can be. Like in my mind, I have this picture of a perfect fighter, and you're never going to be that perfect fighter. But I'm trying my hardest to become that guy, and I just through that. It's just through training, you know. And
Now, do you love training in general, or are we talking like fight camp training?
Everything from jiu-jitsu to wrestling to strength and conditioning to running. Like I don't have a fight coming up, and I've been training 3 times almost every day since I fought just because it's what I do, you know. I would do it if I was a construction worker or I'd do it if I was anything else in the world. It's just what I love to do.
So take me through, and we'll go, I'm going to hop all over the place, but walk me through a typical day for you. Because on Instagram, like, not only are you training
camp or
give me both, but give me a regular day because not only are you training, but then I see you like I guess with your wife like training at night and with the dog. Like this guy doesn't stop.
So in training camp it kind of varies because once I'm in camp, like I always try to get 7 hours of sleep. But when I'm in camp, it's like I'm in bed by 9 or 9:30, no later, and I try to sleep as late as possible. So I'll move my strength and conditioning to the afternoon so I can sleep as close to my training sessions as possible. So like say I sleep till 8 o'clock, my first session will be at 10, will be a skill practice. So I'll do a skill practice, I'll be done around 12 o'clock, I'll go home, I'll eat, hang out with my dog. My girlfriend's a nurse, so if she's home, we'll hang out, whatever. I'll train again in the afternoon. That'll either be like a conditioning session or a strength session. And then I'll have another skill session at nighttime. And then it kind of repeats that way. And sometimes I'll do 4 sessions. I'll do 2 skill sessions, a lift, and a conditioning session. So, but when I'm out of camp, I'll wake up at 5 a.m. and I'll do my own lift at like 6, and then I'll go to my regular practice. And it kind of just it's almost the same thing. I just wake up earlier when I don't have a fight because I know I can sacrifice a little bit of sleep. But when I'm in camp, my sleep's on point. My nutrition is completely on point. Everything's on point. So...
Now, do you worry ever about, do you worry about burning out, or do people have to remind you not to burn out?
People have to well, I've got better with age, but my strength and conditioning coach is Rich Poehler. He's right over in Jersey. We're in Jersey, in Cherry Hill. And he pulls me back because I do a lot on my own. And then when I'm with him, he kind of pulls my reins back a little bit. But the older I get, like if I'm beat up or if I feel like I'm doing too much, I'll take a session off. Where when I was younger, I would go do that next session and feel like crap. And then the next day it suffers. So now I'm like, all right, I'll sacrifice one session here to feel better tomorrow. And I have so many heart rate monitors, and I wear the Whoop strap, and I monitor my sleep and my recovery. So I'm getting a lot smarter with all of my stuff.
All right. So now that I've gotten that out of the way, as far as, the hard work thing, bring me back to who, growing up as a kid. Where did you grow up? Philly, I'm assuming.
Grew up in Philly, yeah.
What was the family dynamic? What were you into?
I grew up with 3 brothers, and it's funny, like people like look at me now, they probably think I'm like this tough guy, and I didn't become the guy I am now like through like when I was a kid, like I was real quiet, and I'm still quiet, but like martial arts has given me the confidence like I have now. Like I was a quiet kid, I didn't have much confidence, like I played some sports. Like I rode dirt bikes growing up, like skateboarded, did all that stuff, and then I started lifting weights in high school, and then my buddy was doing jiu-jitsu and he was doing Muay Thai, and then so me, my brother, and a couple of our other buddies tried it out, and it kind of stuck. And then I started doing jiu-jitsu and I started MMA. And
so
then
you started all this in high school?
In high school, yeah.
Which is kind of late.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not late.
Not late.
Far as, but I'm saying is a lot of these people start very early on with whether it's karate or like some form of martial art.
I think it honestly benefited me though, because I started everything right around the same time. Where some guys might have just been wrestling, I was doing kickboxing already. I was doing Muay Thai, and then I started jiu-jitsu, and then I started coming around all these pro fighters, and I met like Paul Felder and Jonathan Webb at like a super, like 20 years old, 19 years old. So I was exposed to all these really good guys at a young age, and I think it made me who I am today.
And your favorite discipline throughout that time was jiu-jitsu?
Yeah, I think just grappling overall. I think like I like striking, and especially now, like I think I have really good striking. But obviously, I think my best skills are on the ground, and it's where I feel most comfortable and pretty much superior to mostly anyone I've ever grappled with. So yeah.
Anybody? So what did mom and dad do?
My mom's a nurse, and my dad was a construction worker. Now he works with my brother. They have their own business, and yeah. So I did construction growing up. I hated it. My brothers are all in the unions, and now my brother Ryan's a firefighter. My brother Jimmy's in the union, and my brother Brad, my youngest brother, has his own company, and it's all manual labor stuff. And I just knew that wasn't for me. Like I could do it, but I don't want to do it. You know,
but all hardworking.
All
like, none of that seems to be like nobody's slacking in that family.
All hardworking guys. Yes.
What was the dynamic between you and your siblings?
We grew up super close, fighting, you know, but we all hung out together, and we'd fight with each other. But if one of us got in a fight with someone else, you were fighting all four of us. So we grew up super close, and we're still all tight. They all have kids. I'm the only one who doesn't have kids. So yeah, we're still close.
When was the transition between or from just training for the love of it, or in the beginning when you were just getting into it, to when you were like, all right, this is who I want to be, this is what I want to do?
I think my last amateur fight, I was 4-0, and like I was like 19, 20 years old when I was amateur. I didn't know any better. Like I was going out with my friends, drinking on the weekends, like up until like almost the fight, I just didn't know any better. Then I got hurt before one fight. It was actually going to be my CFFC fight, and I hurt my back. And I remember I was at my house, and I was laying like on the floor watching TV, and my back was messed up. I was like, man, I was watching UFC, and it was like George St. Pierre. And I was like, if I get the chance to get healthy and fight again, I'm going to give it everything I got. And turns out I got healthy. I met my girlfriend, who I've been with now for 7 years, right around that time. And that's the first time I dedicated. I think I did a 12-week training camp. Not like no bullshit outside of it. And it kind of started from there. And then ever since that fight camp, I pretty much have had these crazy long, consistent training camps and doing the same thing now.
So are you pretty straight edge, even off camp?
When I was younger, I felt like I deserved to go out and drink after my fights and enjoy myself. Yeah, and celebrate, which you do deserve that. But now, like, I don't have time for that, you know. I don't really care for it. I have too much going on. I have a house, I have a dog, I have a girlfriend, I have all these training sessions. Now I'm in the top 15. Like I'm focused on becoming the absolute best fighter I can be.
Right. You want to just jump right back
now.
in.
Yeah.
I'm gonna skip. So you're 14 in the ranks.
Yeah.
How did it feel when you got that number?
I thought it was gonna I've envisioned all this, you know, and I was like, man, like,
did you wake up a new guy that day, or was it?
I was sitting. I just got done working out at my house, and I was sitting in my sauna, and I was looking at the rankings, and I seen it, and I was like, I thought it was gonna feel different because I'm never satisfied. Like even after a win, I'm like, all right, what's next? Like even when I get ranked, it's gonna feel so good, and I got ranked. I was like, all right, I'm 14. I want to be 10.
Of course.
I want to be 5. I want to be the champion. So
right.
It's cool at the moment, but I'm just always thinking, what's going to get me ahead? Right. What's going to get me to the next step?
It's one of those things too. You wanna kind of slow it down at that moment and enjoy it. Because every little kind of success
for sure
means something.
For sure,
it's got to be a huge deal.
Yeah.
I'm sure you were looking at UFC as like the pinnacle, growing up, and then all of a sudden you have a number tied to your name.
Yeah,
and the name, your name is spreading, you know, in every broadcast where they talk about your division, all that stuff. So it's got to feel.
It feels good, but to me, I'm just me. I'm just Sean. If I could fight and no one know who I was, and I could get paid and become a world champion, I would do that. You know, I don't do it so people know who I am. I just love fighting.
So if my prediction on you is correct, you're going to get to where you want to get to, right? I don't know how long it's going to take, but it seems like you're going at a pretty good pace.
Yeah.
How is it going to feel when, because I mean, repping a city is one thing, but repping Philly is another. Which I want to talk to you about Eddie Alvarez in a little bit, but there's big names attached to the city.
Yeah.
And now you kind of are that new name. So how does that feel now? And how do you think you'll be able to handle that moment where everybody kind of uses you as the Philly?
It feels good, especially knowing I'm from Philly, but I'm fighting out of Philly. Like, you can be from somewhere, but you have to leave that city to go train somewhere else.
Right.
I'm from Philly. I've never left Philly to do a training camp. All my coaches we're all right here in the city, and I think that means a lot more to me too. Like, I could be from Philly, but I could go to Florida and do my training camp. You're from Philly, but you went somewhere else to do your camp. You moved somewhere else, so it's gonna, especially having names like Eddie Alvarez and all the boxers and stuff. It's gonna feel good, and I'm super proud to be from Philly and rep Philly.
I love when I see Felder always, like, every time you're fighting, you see the little tweet come up. Always, it's always like all these very cool, like, you guys have such a strong backing, which is great to see. And I see you doing that with the younger fighters too.
Yeah,
which I'm sure gives them that boost.
Oh yeah, I love my teammates. Like, I'm with my teammates and my coaches more than I'm with my friends. Like, I love my friends. And I love, like, the guys I grew up with, and when we get together, it's like we never stop seeing each other. But my coaches and my teammates, like, they're my friends. Like, I see them more than I see my own family. So anything I can do to help them out, I'm going to do.
I love that. So you say you visualize yourself getting to where you're at now. So that's why it doesn't feel too foreign. Where's your vision is obviously champ.
Yeah.
But what's your vision? Like, is it little by little? Or do you just see that far sight and go for it?
I never look too far ahead, you know, even like when I'm getting ready for a fight and if I'm doing an interview and the guy's like, what's next? I'm like, I'm just focused on this one guy, you know, like, I have a huge task ahead of me. And for me right now, it's whoever I'm fighting next. That's my next step to get where I'm going. I know I want to fight in July. I don't have a fight, but that's just where my mind is. Like, all right, I know I'm kind of fighting around. I want to fight around this time frame, and that's just my next vision. And then after that, I'll start thinking about. I don't want to think too far ahead though.
Do you think of what the kids growing up seeing you now in the UFC that are local, how they see you, and does that motivate you? Do you think about that stuff at all?
No, to me, I'm just I don't know. Like, I don't see myself as like even like when people ask me for autographs or like. I can't believe it, you know? Weird? Yeah, it feels weird just because I'm just like, me why? And exactly. Right. And I just, even like coming on here, like, I'm like, why do people want to hear me talk, you know? But it's just, that's just how but I guess I looked at George St. Pierre, like, that's like my guy, you know? I've just finished his interview with Joe Rogan, and I love that dude to death. So, and I'm sure he probably like,
why do you listen to the podcast?
Yeah.
I was listening to that this morning. Yeah.
And I'm sure he feels the same way. Like, why do people want to listen to me? Yeah. So, but.
Yeah, because I think it matters. I think, I think we all look for influence somewhere.
Yeah.
And motivation somewhere. Yeah. The reason I wanted to do this to begin with was I love hearing the little details.
Yeah.
Not so. I mean, the fighting stuff is awesome, right? But we're all kind of the same, but we all have little things that are different, and like how you got to where you got to is what's interesting. And I think a lot of young fighters or you're just kids looking for someone to root for. You know? So that's a big deal.
Yeah.
So you train with Gracie?
Daniel Gracie's
John?
Yep.
Webb?
John Webb, yep.
Are those kind of the three main?
Yeah, so Daniel, John, and then Jonathan Webb.
Right.
John's Big Beard John, and then there's Jonathan.
Right.
Yeah. They're my three guys, yep.
You didn't start there, right? You started somewhere else and got there?
So I started it's called a gym it's called Semper Fi MMA. It's in Northeast Philly. My coach, Julio Rosario, who's a pro fighter, and he was my coach up until I still see Julio all the time. I just kind of outgrew the gym, but he introduced me to Daniel, and he's the reason I met Daniel and I met all these other guys. So he kind of brought me along, but yeah, he was my guy for a long time, and he stopped fighting, so he stopped coming down to all the practices, but he still has his gym and still right in the neighborhood, and it's still a great jiu-jitsu gym, and he's got some good guys still coming out of there.
What is it about that combination of those three guys and those three gyms that make it so special for you and for some of the other fighters that
Obviously Daniel being Daniel Gracie and the jiu-jitsu, and then I feel like John Marquez is just like he's like an unknown, but it's like people are going to know he's so good at what he does. And striking for MMA is completely different than kickboxing or Muay Thai, and John has a really good understanding for striking for MMA. You know, like I love striking, but I'm a grappler at heart. He's not trying to make me a pure striker where some other coaches will try to do that. He knows I want to get to the ground, and that's why I think like him and Daniel mesh so well. Like he just understands the ground just like he understands the striking. And then Jonathan, I used to look up. I still look up to Jonathan. When Jonathan was at his peak, like Jonathan was the man to me. And just like kind of how I looked at the GSP, I looked up to Jonathan. And Jonathan's one of my main training partners, and it just so happens he's a great coach as well. I think he's an amazing fighter, but he's an amazing coach. So the three of them just mesh really well. And we're all the same team. It's not like I seek out all these guys from different teams. We're all under the same umbrella.
Do you think a lot of fighters suffer from that, where they have separation between the striking coach and the jiu-jitsu or the wrestling?
Yeah, and I feel like MMA is still like so new, even with like strength and conditioning. Like there's no, if you go to like a football teams, like most of the strength and conditioning is all going to be the same.
Right.
There's going to be different little things, but MMA is so new, no one really knows. So we're all like your wrestling coach is here, your striking coach is here, your jiu-jitsu coach is here. Like the closer you can get them all together, I think the better. But
it's about understanding you as a fighter, because every fighter is different, right? So it's like, how do we get him to get to his most dominant position?
Yes.
So if that means that you're going to strike first and then try to get to the ground, then they got to work on that together.
And you can't have all these different coaches trying to like run you into the ground. Your strength coach has to understand you have your skill sessions, which are the most important, which I am realizing now.
Tell me about a skill session, because I don't know these terms.
So skill sessions, like your skills are jiu-jitsu, wrestling, boxing, anything in your umbrella of like actual fighting should be your sparring is most important. And then you have your jiu-jitsu, then you have your wrestling, then you have your pad work. All that has to come before you do your strength and conditioning. Like you shouldn't do strength and conditioning and leave it all there and then you have to go spar. You want to go
just
spar.
because you have nothing in the tank.
Yeah, and you're not lifting weights when you're fighting. Your sparring is going to implicate like what you're going to do in your fight. Right. So you want whatever you have left after your sparring session, go put that into your run or go lift. But make sure your skill sessions are getting all of your focus, and that's kind of how I structure my camps now.
So you said you heard the what's his name? The George St. Pierre interview. Which is funny because I was finishing it this morning as well.
Yeah, it's the second one.
And I'm listening to him talking about how fighters spar.
Yeah.
And how it should be fun.
Yeah.
It should be loose in order to learn.
Yeah.
Do you kind of see it that way too, or do you go hard?
Right now, when I don't have a fight, yes.
Okay.
When I have a fight, no. When I have a fight, I have an objective. Like I have things I want to do in that sparring session. But when I don't have a fight, even like my jiu-jitsu is like that. Like when I'm in camp, I'm trying to get to a position where I want to be, where I'm thinking I'm going to be in the fight and finish the fight or finish the match. But when I don't have a fight, it's when you can try new stuff and you're not worrying about if you get taken down or if you get hit with a good shot. Like, because that will bother me. Like if I have a bad sparring session in camp, I can't wait until my next sparring session to make up for that. But
because you're almost keeping tabs on like where you want to be right before the fight.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
like, does that sit you backwards?
Exactly.
And you're like, all right, what do I need to work on?
But when I don't have a fight, you're just
screw it.
You're just having fun. Yeah.
Okay. So that's where you learn. That's where you where you improvise and you kind of
in training camp. You're focusing on one person, you know. And you're trying to just beat that person and think about how you're going to beat that person. When you don't have a fight, that's when you get better because you're just trying new stuff and you're like, oh, this works, this doesn't work. You're not learning too much in a training camp. You're just getting ready for one opponent.
Okay. Tell me, so you were supposed to fight Muhammad, right?
Yes.
You broke your nose? Is that what happened?
I broke a part of my body that I don't want to tell anybody about, but it wasn't healed up in time.
Okay.
And my nose has been broken a lot, as you can see. But
no,
it wasn't
straight, bro.
It wasn't my nose. But yeah, so I had an injury. I had an injury that wasn't healed up, and he went on. Now he's got these huge fights, and I'm sitting here.
So this is the point. So we had just gone on vacation to Puerto Rico a couple weeks back, and it's the Muhammad Leon Edwards fight. And I'm watching the fight, and I'm like, shit, because you were supposed to fight him, and who knows where that would have put you. Now, things are meant to be.
Yeah,
so
sure.
you're probably in the right...
Can't dwell on it, yeah.
You can't dwell on it. But I was like, shit, man, because, if you got a chance to dominate him, you probably would have gone straight into that position.
Yeah.
Now, Leon Edwards is another weird situation anyway, because he's been gone so long and all this stuff.
Yeah.
What do you think about how that fight ended with the eye being ripped out?
Unfortunate. His it was a bad eye poke. It really.
Dude, he pulled the eyelid out.
It was bad, but it's just part of the game. Like there's nothing you can do about it. Eye pokes are going to happen. Like
How do you think Edwards was looking? Because
I thought he looked good.
I thought he looked good too.
I thought he looked good. Obviously you can't.
Muhammad's good.
A lot of people were trying to say like, oh, like Bilal was on his way to losing. You can't say that. He lost the first round, but Leon did look good. But Bilal could have came back. He had 4 more rounds to come back.
So much can happen.
So much can happen. One punch can change everything.
Right.
But I would guess Leon was going to go on and win that fight.
Right. Do you see in that fight that he did enough to kind of warrant what he always says, who he always says he is, and the rank that he's at, and all that stuff? Or
who's this, Bilal?
No,
Leon.
Leon.
Yeah.
Because everybody always is like, but dude, you don't fight.
Yeah.
You barely fight.
Leon's good. I've watched a lot of his fights, but like he's had close fights with like Cowboy. He is good, but I don't see anything super special. You know, number 3 in the world, but.
You think Muhammad should get that fight back?
I mean, he's not getting the fight back. He's fighting Damian Maia, which is another big fight. So
wait, who's fighting Damian Maia?
Bilal.
Oh, he is.
Yeah.
Why the hell did I forget that part?
So
okay, all right. Well,
that's where I'm kind of sitting here. I don't got no food on my plate, so I'm trying to get some food on my plate.
So talk to me about that. So where are you at right now? And where what's the plan?
So literally within the last 3 weeks, almost every single person in the top 15 has got an opponent. Besides me, there's the Leech. He doesn't have anybody, but supposedly no one's heard from him. There's Robbie Lawler. I don't think I'm going to get Robbie Lawler. And then there's Chiesa. Chiesa's open. He's 7. I'm 14. It's not too far off. I would love to fight him. He's a great guy, great fighter, but I think I can get that fight. If Bilal can get number 3, why can't I get number 7,
Especially on the run. I mean, you're undefeated.
Yeah.
14?
Never lost a fight.
14 never lost a fight. I mean, what the hell are we doing?
Chiesa. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But listen,
that's a good fight too. That's a good matchup.
Dude, he's a good fight. And then there's Vicente Luque, but he just beat Tyron Woodley, and he's going to get a big name, and he deserves that big name. Deserves the big name.
Luque looked good. Lucas looked good.
Yeah.
Against Wonder Boy, that still showed his.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So the win against Woodley is huge. So
yeah,
he definitely deserves.
And then there's Woodley, but Woodley's on a 4-fight skid, and he's either going to retire or the UFC is probably going to release him.
I thought he looked Woodley coming into that fight. I got a little excited because I was hoping he'd have that fire.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? So I'm like, oh shit, there it is. But I felt like he was rushing, which I think he admitted to anyway.
Yeah. It just sucks to see that happen because he was such a great fighter, but it's the nature of the beast.
Right. He was so dominant.
Yeah.
How one loss can kind of just send you in the opposite direction.
Yeah. Right? That's why there's no in and out with fighting. I try to tell these younger guys it's either you're either all in. There's no dipping your foot in and out. You can't be doing all this different stuff. Either you're focused on fighting or you're not. And if you're not going to get anywhere.
I love it. I agree. Yeah, I mean, first of all, it's a dangerous sport to be messing with.
Yeah.
And 2, what's the point?
It's the gym sessions, but then it's also what are you doing outside the gym? Are you sleeping enough? And MMA, I see these guys and I see the way they eat and I see the way they sleep and they're up at night playing. I'm like, you guys, that ain't it. You literally, you have to be on top of all your stuff. And it's the guys at the top who are doing these small things like tracking their sleep, tracking their nutrition, doing all these things. Those small little things are what is going to create big gaps, because we're all skilled. In the UFC, we're all the best in the world, but it's who's not cutting corners, who's not staying up late, who's not going out to dinner with their family and who's sacrificing more. That's who I think.
As human beings, that's a tough thing to put everything aside.
Dude, trust me. I know, I'm living it.
You're suffering
I'm living
a lot.
Yeah.
A lot of relationships, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah. I've missed family events. I've missed nieces' parties. I've missed so many things with my girl. I missed so much stuff. And luckily, I have a great girl who understands it. But don't get me wrong. There's times where she's like, shit, I'm sure she's like, I wish I could go out to dinner and I wasn't eating fucking dry chicken and whatever, you know?
Right, I wish we could have a nice fatty meal together.
Listen, I'll let you, like, I'll never, if I'm eating my meal, like, I don't care. You can eat pizza or cheesesteak, whatever you want. I'm bulletproof, you know? Right. So eat whatever you want. But she sacrifices a lot too. So I'm not only doing it for myself, I'm doing it for her. I'm doing it for my mom and my dad, who have sacrificed so much for me coming up and allowing me to do what I do, you know?
Isn't it funny though? You would think like the stakes are so high for what you want to accomplish and who you want to help in your life. You would think, you know, not eating a piece of pizza would be easy.
Yeah.
Or not having a beer with your friend would be easy.
Yeah.
But it is. It's hard. It's hard to put aside what we all do, you know, for fun.
For me, it's not, because it's your window of fighting is so short, and I've started to realize, like, I just want to enjoy every moment, even the sucky moments. Cutting weight sucks. You feel like death. You're not drinking water, but one day I'm going to be an old man, and I'm like, damn, like, I should have enjoyed that. What could I do to go back to get one more weight cut? So I just try to live in the moment every single day, doing what I love to do, because not many people can say they wake up every day and get to truly do what they love.
Do you think about that stuff? Like, you know, I don't know if you guys have plans to have kids or whatever, but like, do you think about when you're older and being able to kind of tell, all, you know, these stories?
Yeah, and even like with kids, like my girl wants to have kids, but
right now,
like I'm 28, she's 29. Like eventually, she's going to want to have kids. So I'm trying to do as much as I can right now. Yeah, because I don't want to be an old man having kids, you know, but I also don't want to have kids in this moment, and that's just going to be another wrench thrown into. I have to be selfish, you know, and she knows that. Right.
I think no matter what people say, you know.
Yeah, it's no matter
Connor what. Said it, all the people have said it, like, oh, it'll never get in the way. No. Dude,
it's fucking going to get in the way. Yeah. And anything I can, I'm trying to get established before I have kids.
That's smart.
But it's going to happen. But yeah, I'm trying to.
You're like, enjoy the dog.
I'm trying to get my dog. Yeah, listen. If you see my social media, my dog's my son.
I know. I've seen that dude.
Yeah.
I training him, and he's with you guys.
Yeah, I already have a kid.
That's cool, man. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, well, you know, speaking from experience, even like coming to do this, sometimes it's like you're like shit. Like, you know, the kids are at home. They wish you were there, or so, you know. So it's kids get in the way. But you know, it is what it is.
Yeah.
And right now you're chasing your dream and you're busting your ass to do it. So it's probably not a fair time for them even.
Exactly.
If you were to have the kids.
It's not a fair time for anybody.
Not trying to rush you in the show to have kids or anything like that. But it's you know, it's something you got to think about.
Yeah, no, it's a lot, man.
You guys got time. You good. So let's back a little bit up real quick again with before you got in the UFC, you were in CFFC.
Yeah.
Killed it there. And then, how far was you fought 4 times in the UFC or 5?
4 in the UFC.
4.
Yeah.
So how long ago was it that you got the first call to go to the big show?
Right after my last CFFC fight. I think it was in 2019. The UFC
so it wasn't that long ago.
The UFC was coming to Philly, and
was that Gaethje?
Yeah. And I got signed, and I was supposed to fight on that card, and some things just didn't play out. And but that's when I originally got signed.
How was that? How was it for you emotionally when you got signed, or when that first happened? And how was it for your family?
I was on the phone with my girlfriend, and I was telling her while I was walking into my parents' house. And I was telling my girlfriend, Kristen, at the same time I was telling my mom. My mom's crying, and my girlfriend's crying on the phone hysterically. Like, my mom's in tears, like you thought someone was murdering. Right, Kristen's crying.
Everybody's like, what did he just tell him?
Yeah. Everyone's crying, and no, it was great. And for me, it was almost the same thing. Like, I was super excited, but I knew eventually it was going to happen. So I wasn't like...
What a beautiful moment, though, man. Because people see you grinding.
Yeah.
And it's a special thing.
And that's where I feel like I kind of need to soak it in a little more and enjoy it, because I'm doing something that not many people get to do. And so I need to realize...
hopefully stuff opens up too, and you guys get to travel more, and you get to really kind of...
like I said, my first UFC fight was in Boston. My second one was in Virginia right before the pandemic hit. And my whole squad, they were in Boston and they were in Virginia. So I've already got to enjoy that. And like, once Vegas opens up, wherever I fight at next, there's even
gonna be a crowd probably.
Even my last 2 fights in Vegas, like I still had like probably 30 people from Philly come out there, and we met them at the bars afterwards.
That's
and
awesome.
Once wherever I fight, it opens up, my whole squad's going to be there. So they follow me everywhere, and I am lucky with that regard. Like Philly has shown me nothing but love. Yeah. So it's
Philly goes proud no matter where you fight. You can be fighting anywhere, they're going to show up.
Yeah, but like when Eddie Alvarez was champ, he didn't get the love he deserved, man. And
I agree.
Because even guys I know went to the same high school as Eddie. When he fought Conor, we're rooting for Conor. I was like, how? Like I just don't like loyalty is like something like sacred to me, you know. And I'm like, that's like the most disrespectful thing ever. So that always rubbed me the wrong way.
I could be completely just forgetting, but the first time it shocked me enough to remember, at least, was when he fought Conor. That I finally saw a live shot of people in Philly bars, rooting for Eddie. Yeah. And it was like, well, where the hell have all these people been? This whole time.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's a weird.
Yeah, he didn't get the like when he came home, like all these other champions when they came home to their cities, they had parades and shit.
Yeah, everybody at the airport.
Eddie, they had something for like chicken pizza or something. Like nothing like
cheese fries.
It was super disrespectful. And Eddie's like, to me, Eddie's one of the best to ever do it. You know, he's been doing it for so long and he's still doing it. And he's the man. And he actually got me signed to the UFC.
Is that right?
He called Dana White and got me signed. So I owe a lot to Eddie, and he's a great dude. And we trained a lot. We got a lot closer through COVID because just training together and grinding. And back when I fought in August, he was almost the same body style as the guy I was fighting. So we did a shitload of rounds together. And Eddie's a good dude.
So I'll say poor Eddie because I thought it was a shame. His fight
last night.
Yeah. What did you think about that? So they disqualify him for punching in the back of the head.
Yeah.
I saw one punch.
Yeah.
That was a little was iffy, but the guy turned his head.
But what I've always been told.
Break it down for me.
What I've always been told is if you're getting hit and you turn into that shot, that's on you. If a guy's punching and you're turning and you get clipped in the back of your head, that's your problem.
Are you going to hold a punch in the middle because the guy turned?
That's your problem. And I watched it, and I watched it. Like I was arguing with people on Twitter, and I watched it a bunch of times. There's maybe 1 or 2 that kind of got close, but you would make it like they were making it seem like he was hammer fist. Like, it wasn't like that.
I think it was one.
He was touching his ear, and he was touching like a little bit behind. The dude sold that shit like an actor. He got hit. He realized, like,
screamed.
He's like, I'm in a bad spot, and he sold it. And
bro, he went
Yeah. It shouldn't. At worst, it should be a no contest.
Yeah.
Now it's a disqualification. That's a loss on Eddie's record. That's ridiculous. That's insane to me.
I remember there was a video that Herb Dean put out one time explaining specifically where in the head it is legal and where it becomes dangerous and where it should. Yeah. And it's a very fine line. We're talking like spinal cord and up.
It's a strip.
It's a strip.
Yeah, it's like a strip on the back of your head. Yeah. It's a mohawk line. Yeah, it's essentially
which didn't seem like that's what
I don't think he was touching it.
Yeah.
You know?
I felt really bad in his speech, man. He was almost like talking because he was so emotional.
Yeah. Like you did that training camp. You traveled to Singapore. You want to fight. Like Eddie wants to fight, and then you get in there, and 2 minutes in, that happens, you know. And now you gotta. I'm sure he's got to quarantine and do all this shit before he comes home, and then what? You got to do that again, like
right. And you got that DQ next to your name.
It's tough. Yeah, I hope.
And at this point in his career,
I hope somebody tries to get that to a no contest. Like I'm sure his management or something, or if him, But then you go and you watch the next fight, and Demetrius Johnson gets kneed in the face and gets knocked out. Listen, I understand the back of the head is very dangerous, but at the end of the day, bro, we're fighting. Right. We're fist fighting. You get hit in the back. I've got hit in the back of my head. I got groin shot. I've got all kinds of stuff. No, you keep fighting. You know that ref when he said he should have gave him a warning. He gave him a warning. And Eddie said I'm not. He said I'm touching the ear. So I don't know. I think it was a bad thing on that ref.
Could the ref could he have stopped it in some way in the moment without stopping the fight? Is that doable?
He could have stood them up. what I think initially he thought was going to happen, he was going to stop it, and that guy was maybe maybe he was going to stand them up or just reset them, but that dude realized like,
either, now I'm gonna milk it. Yeah.
And Eddie hit him with some hard shots, clean shots, so he was probably out of it, and he was like, you know what, instead of me going back into this fight and getting knocked out, I'm just going to sell this shit like I'm hurt. And he was hurt, but he was hurt from legal shots. He got hit, and then Eddie was hammer fisting him, and the fight should have been a TKO right there. Like that's what I was watching. I was like, damn, it's already over. And then the ref was like, stop. I was like, oh, it's going to be bad.
Do you in MMA, can they stop? Can they stand you up and then take a point away for that? Or give you a warning and then
they can.
That seems more fair.
And now like there's different rules for like different states. Like there's the unified rules, and then over in Singapore, like I don't know what rules they go by. You know, they're allowed to soccer kick a knee in the face. So I don't know what their rules are.
They're allowed to soccer kick in the face.
Yeah, you're allowed to soccer kick, but I don't think you're allowed to elbow because they don't want you to get cut. So
what a weird damn sport.
You can't elbow, but I can soccer kick you in the face. Doesn't make sense to me.
But that's like the 12-6, right?
You can't 12-6, but you can soccer kick. But I think you should, like, listen, if we're going to do it, let's bring in the knees, let's bring in the soccer kicks, and let's let the rules just, because there's
no eye pokes, no groin shots. That's about it.
Yep. Even like, and still the back of the head, because those shots can be very dangerous, but here and here are the same thing. Like Eddie literally never came close to the back, that strip on that guy's head.
But it's not like boxing's a little different because you're clenching and you're doing this thing while you're standing and just so there's even a Puerto Rican fighter who's still like he was in a coma and the whole it's a scary it's a sad thing. Yeah. But I don't think that Alvarez was the same thing at all.
And at the end of the day, like we know what we're getting ourselves into. Like I didn't get into this to get the safest job in the world. Like I know what I'm doing. I know eventually when I'm older, I'm probably going to have some CTE or something. It is what it is.
You don't know. You have no idea.
It is what it is. Do
you think about that stuff at all?
I do, but
does it stress you out?
No. It's you got one life to live, and this is what I chose to do. If I went to do something safer, I wouldn't be fighting.
What is it like when you are in the back? You're about to go out. What's your? you hear it from a bunch of different people. What's your specific kind of? How does it feel for you right before you walk out? Where are the nerves at?
I'm scared. Like I'm never scared to fight. Like only thing I'm ever scared of is to let people down that are in my corner, like my family, my girlfriend, my coaches. I just don't want to let people down, and you don't want to be embarrassed. Like I don't want to go out there and just get knocked out. Like I'm not scared to go out and get in a fist fight. But I like it more now that there's no crowd. Like we're warming up in the back, and my coach is like, "Damn, like he's like too relaxed." But it almost feels like a sparring session to me. Like I'm like, I'm sure this
is it because there's nobody watching you?
Yeah, and I'm fighting in front of all these people, but I don't like being watched. Like I'm just like a very I'd rather like me and you just go around the block and fight, me and you.
Right.
So without
just walk out friends.
Yeah. And the apex is like that. Like you walk out, there's certain people are there, but. It's like, all right,
I can see that though. That it's almost like being in the gym.
You
right?
can, and that's where I perform the best. So I just gotta, once I perform as good as I do in the gym in the octagon, I think I can beat anybody in the world.
So to that point, is your next fight, which definitely should be a crowd. Are you pumped about that?
I'm pumped about it because like I know my family and my friends will get to be there. But. At the end of the day, once you're in there, and I always know that too, no matter how nervous I am walking out to a fight, I know once I'm in there and that cage locks and the first punch is thrown, it's all going to feel
Where's the adrenaline and the nerves at that moment when the cage locks?
It's getting a lot easier. Like now, like I'm almost used to it. I just you just got to keep yourself calm. If you get too hyped up, you're going to have an adrenaline dump. If you're too relaxed, you're going to get caught with a shot you didn't see coming. So you gotta find that fine line. Do
you look for the first time you get hit as almost like all right, now we're good?
Yeah. It's like especially once you get hit, you like at first like gauging where they're at is like the weirdest. Yeah. But once like even if it's not a punch, even if it's like just a grab or a touch, you're like, all right, you can start finding.
You can feel their energy.
Yeah. And then you're like, all right, this is all super familiar. I do this every single day.
Have you fought a person where as soon as you get that first touch, you're like, shit, this guy's this guy's different than what I expected, or not really?
No, I never like it. Like everyone, I think that just goes to why a lot of people respect me and the way I train is because I could be. It doesn't matter who the name is. I'm training like you are the absolute perfect fighter. You're better than me everywhere, and I'm just training. I'm training to be better than you, and I'm covering every aspect of the game.
So you didn't pick an easy division to fight in.
No.
I mean, this is pretty stacked.
Yeah.
Who in that rank? Who in those ranks do you like? Do you feel like you're all on the same level, and it's just a matter of time before you hit them all? You know, you're not physically hit them, but you know what I mean? Like you touch on those fights at some point, or is there some people that you see that you're like, I can't wait to get to that guy?
Man, honestly, I really want to fight Chiesa just because I like him and I want to challenge myself.
Yeah.
Like, I want to test even like before Bilal and Damian Maia got scheduled. I wanted to fight Damian Maia because I wanted to go in there
and feel the backpack,
grapple with Damian Maia because I know I could beat Damian Maia in grappling and just that like I want to challenge myself. So all these guys, they're all so good. So no matter if it's Wonder Boy with karate or if it's Gilbert Burns with jiu-jitsu, like I want to test myself to see how truly good I am. And
that's official, right? Wonder Boy and Burns?
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
I don't know.
It's a good matchup, right?
Yeah. I think, but I always look at Wonder Boy and I'm like, man, like he's got a tough fight, but that karate style, like you literally, if I fought Wonder Boy, I'd fight him like this, or literally on top of him. Like you can't give him space.
Right.
If you
give him sideways, right?
Yeah. So you just gotta grab him and never let him go.
Yeah, I like Wonder Boy.
I'm sure I'll get to grab him one day. We'll see.
So what do you think of Usman?
He's good.
What do you think of Usman Masvidal? Also, tell me that too.
Masvidal is good. He's got a lot of hype around him because of what he's done recently. But Usman beats him
9 out of 10.
9 out of 10, maybe 10 out of 10.
Really?
Yeah. Just stylistically, like we've seen them fight. They went 25 minutes, and Masvidal can knock him out, but I just don't see it happening.
Right.
You know, I just don't see it happening.
Usman always surprises me because when you think that he's like, he abandons the striking a little bit too much in one fight, then he brings it back on the next one. You're like, well, shit, he is good at that.
He's very smart. He's a very smart fighter.
Yeah.
Very smart.
I was never a huge Usman fan, but he's growing on me. He's growing on me with every fight.
I like him, man. People aren't like he kind of reminds him of me. Like he's not like super flashy. Like he doesn't post a lot of bullshit on social media.
Maybe it's the cringiness of sometimes when he talks that drives me nuts.
Yeah.
That might be the issue.
And I get that too because like even especially this new Conor era, like especially a few years ago when everyone like started talking shit. People are bad. Like it's a skill. Like Conor is very good at talking shit. Right. Most of these guys, they don't have that skill. I don't have that. Like if it's genuine, like I'll be good at talking shit, but I can't be fake and like try to talk shit.
Like when him and Colby would go back and forth after the fight.
Very, very bad.
Dude,
like,
that was so bad.
Yeah, I couldn't even watch it.
It's embarrassing.
Even him and Woodley was so bad too. Woodley's bad, just as great fighter. Horrible at talking shit. Horrible rapper.
Masvidal's did you say horrible rapper?
Horrible rapper, yeah. Masvidal's really good.
He's good, but Masvidal's good.
It's like street.
But he sometimes edges a little too much on Tony Montana. You know what I mean? Like you gotta ease up on the Cubanness a little bit.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah, but I'd rather listen to him than
he's much better.
Usman and Colby's. It's all scripted. His is literally probably written on a piece of paper. He's bad, but.
Yeah,
you gotta sell your fight somehow, I guess.
I get it. You have to, but sometimes I feel like you maybe do more damage. Like it's almost like George St. Pierre didn't talk shit.
No,
he didn't have to.
No.
So and Usman's that good. He doesn't have to talk shit.
And I'm going to be true to myself, and like I don't want to be talking shit, and then my parents like they're like that's not who you are. Yeah, exactly. So you got to remember, you also have to represent the people in your life too. You know, like you're out to represent yourself, but you're also representing your family and your team. So if you're acting like an asshole, you're making everybody else look like an asshole.
And if everybody knows that that's who you are, people are almost going to be like, not celebrating it, but they're going to be like, hell yeah, like that's what he does. He's good at that.
Yeah.
You know?
Yep.
If you don't, it's like, what the hell is he doing?
Yeah, for sure.
All right, so this weekend, you're going to watch the fights?
Yeah.
So Till pulled out because he broke his collarbone. Mm-hmm. You know what that's like, having to pull up because of an injury. That sucks, huh?
Yeah.
So that fight I thought was going to be good. I like Till. So Vittori's going to fight...
Kevin Holland.
Holland.
Yeah.
Which literally just fought 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, good fight. I think Marvin's going to win. He's good, bro. I think he's... Yeah. I watched his fight with Izzy recently. He gave Izzy... It was a pretty good fight. Like, he took him down. I think he has the best chance in the division to beat Izzy. His style, his forward pressure.
Was that Izzy's first fight in the UFC?
First or second. It was early. And it was early on in Marvin's career, too. I think he was only like 24 years old, and he did good. So I think he's going to beat Kevin, and I think he's going to go on. But he's good, man.
Kevin.
Yeah.
His last fight... Well, that goes to the talking shit again. Like, so he's a good. He's fun. He's entertaining, right?
Yes.
He got the nickname Big Mouth, right?
Yes.
It works until it doesn't work because you're getting beat.
Yep.
Then you got to be a little bit careful.
Yeah, and I think he's going to come out and be a lot more like, because he won 5 times last year. This year he's already started off 0-1. He don't want to start off 0-2. So he's definitely.
He was going like this.
Yeah. So he's definitely going to be more serious. But I just think Marvin has the grappling to beat him.
So for Holland, I think it would really suck for him to lose this one. Yeah. Because he's going to lose a little bit of that. For sure. That boost he had.
Because he lost some of it. Yeah. After the last.
But if he looks good, even if he loses, if he looks good and talks shit when it's appropriate, like when you're dominating, then cool. Yeah. I think he'll be all right.
Yeah, like you said, it works when it works, and when it's not working, you gotta. You're fighting at the end of the day. You gotta fight.
But kudos to him for jumping right back in and saying, I'm game, man. This is I'm not just talking shit. I actually want to fight.
Yeah.
So anybody else that you're looking forward to in the next couple months?
Dude, there's so many fights. There's so many fights coming up.
Jake Paul. I'm just joking.
I hope he gets knocked out.
Me too, but I kind of don't see it.
I don't see it either.
Which resume?
I hope Ben wins. No matter, I would honestly like to see him go out there, shoot a double leg, and just ground and pound him.
Yes.
And just go, and then the whole place just go crazy.
That'd be amazing.
Yeah.
By the way, in the level that you're fighting and with who you're fighting, it's all theatrics anyway. Mm-hmm. Why couldn't you do that? Mm-hmm. You realize the level of like hype behind you.
What's he gonna do? Get sued? Like,
I'm sure he had to sign something that says you can't do that.
Yeah.
Break the rules.
Yeah, but I'm just looking forward to seeing how my division plays out. Watching all these big names, and hopefully I get matched up with one. Dude,
hopefully within the next couple of weeks or as soon as possible, we hear an awesome opponent being tagged to your name there, and you just keep on seeing you dominate. Man.
Yep.
It's a pleasure to have you on.
I appreciate
you.
Been
wanting
me
to.
On, man.
Anytime you say you don't see a reason to come on this type of stuff. It's for the boys.
It was fun. It's fun.
Talk some fights, man. So anytime, brother.
Thank you, man.
Appreciate it.
I appreciate it, bro.
Oh, you know what? I want to talk to you about tattoos real quick. So I've been working on the fucking slowest sleeve.
I seen that's new, right?
I just got it done 2 days ago.
I can see it's new.
But I picked I like the traditional style.
Yeah, I can see.
I like that style.
Yeah.
But I didn't realize that you can't do a proper sleeve really.
Yeah.
With traditional because it looks weird. Or
you can't do like filler. So like, and in Japanese tattoos, fillers like there's the lightning, there's clouds, there's waves, there's so many things to tie everything in. Like, so you would tie in all that really easy, but with the traditional, it's more like you just get
patches.
You get one patch here, one patch there, and
I went into it saying I do not like that style, and then I'm like, but I like that style as far as the design. And now I'm like working with this guy. Well, the girl that used to do it, she did most of them, and then she left to Austin like a week ago. But so this new guy, we have 2 more or 3 more dates scheduled already. But it's like now it's like what goes here, what goes here, what goes, and then figure out some form of filler that's gonna bring it all together.
So are you going to fill it?
Yeah. But the thing is, I'm like, what are we gonna fill with? He's like, I don't know. Small tattoos.
Yeah, or maybe like lightning or like I don't know. It's tough. See, with traditional, it's tough because that's kind of like it's like one big tattoo here, one big.
He's
tattoo
like, you want to do like the star? I'm like, can't pull that shit off. It's gonna look ridiculous. I'm like, can we do like nautical, like traditional style maybe? And he said he was that it was a bad idea.
If you do that, and then maybe you could do some lightning going through your arm, like that would look pretty cool.
But I got a bunch of weird shit. Like I try to dedicate them all, so that was for my kids.
Okay.
This one just because I liked it. That's for my dad, who used to be a musician. He's still a musician, but that one's for me because of film. That one's for my grandfather.
Why don't you just ride it out and just do the patches and just
until they get tight enough where hopefully it works, right? Yeah. But anyway, I was going to ask you about you because it's funny. I hear on the weigh-ins and all this stuff people talking about like he almost is running out of space. Yeah. But then I heard you want to do a full body Japanese. When did you get into tattoos? Like,
I mean, I've always been into tattoos, but Japanese recently, like within like the last couple of years, and I just love Japanese tattoos so much. So I'm actually going to get like everything that's not Japanese, like this, I got this when I was super young. I'm getting this laser and redone. I got a huge samurai I'm getting worked on right now. I just got the back of my head did.
Yeah, I saw an Instagram.
It's not finished. I still got to get that finished.
How much did that hurt?
It was bad. But still,
I saw it. I'm like, dude, he's hardcore. That's aggressive.
Still to this day, my worst is my back. The back is horrible. And
that's because you have a face that's this.
And I have my butt done. Like, the back is literally the most painful tattoo I've ever had.
How many sessions did that take?
So many. Especially because fighting, like, so right now I don't have a fight, so I try to get tattooed as much. Like, I have 3 sessions coming up, like, back to back to back. I try to get as much done as possible, but the back hurts so bad, I do 1 session, not go back for a while.
Really?
Yeah, it was bad. And it's still not done because I still have to get it all tied in together, so I'm not looking forward.
How many different artists? It's just one guy, or?
Right now, my guy is Matt Landon. He's doing most of my stuff. But my buddy Chris, he did my entire. I have a whole dragon on this leg. He did that. Matt did this whole sleeve. He's doing my leg. He's doing most of my stuff.
Where's he out of? What?
He's out of. I guess it's Fishtown. And
what's the name of the?
His name's Matt Landon. He's a private studio.
Oh, he has his own private studio.
He's a private studio, yeah.
No, I've heard the name. I think I follow him.
Yeah, Matt Landon. He's private. Chris Dimitri is out of Keswick Tattoo. And Chris Romanelli from my neighborhood, he just did the leopard on the back of my head. He's from Forever Valentine.
Okay.
And,
so you don't really discriminate with who, as long as you get the body going.
Yeah, but
cohesively.
Matt is doing most of, like, he did my whole sleeve. He's doing he's finished my back. He's doing most of my stuff.
Okay. Does he get kind of pissed that you use other people?
No.
He gets it.
No, well, my tattoo artist Chris, who did my leg, introduced me to Matt because I was like, yo, like, I only had one arm, and I was like, this is my last arm. Like, I've got much more room. I got to make it good. He was like, go to Matt, and then Matt did a tiger and a dragon, and he's been doing everything since.
So my first tattoo was at 18. And I designed them all at that time. It was boxing gloves with the Puerto Rico flags, which was where I'm from, and my grandfather's name because my grandfather was a trainer, right? So I got that done, and then in Puerto Rico later on when I was down there, I got this other shit. But now it doesn't go at all with the style. It's like not anything. Yeah. So like he's looking at it and he's like, we can cover it up, but then it's gonna be all black. I'm like, shit. But anyway,
once it's all tied in together, it won't look that like
right. It won't be that noticeable, maybe.
And especially. That tattoo's so new right now. It's just so
it pops.
It'll fade. Yeah, I was looking at it, I was like, he definitely just got tattooed.
Yeah. No, it still has the cream on it.
Yeah.
But yeah, most of the stuff was at True Hand in Fishtown, which is the old
True. Matt used to be at True Hand.
Okay, so that's where I know the name.
Matt used to be at True Hand, and his wife used to be at True Hand.
So Chelsea.
His wife's name's Amanda. She does really good traditional. Yeah. And now he just has his own private studio right on Front Street.
Okay, so then I followed. So Chelsea used to do it at True Hand. And then she left and she went with Topper.
Yep. They were all tattooing.
So that's Topper.
They were all in Matt's shop recently while he was getting his new shop together.
That's where he was at. So he said, they were setting up the licenses and all that stuff.
Oh, okay. I was in there getting tattooed when they were all in there.
All right. So he just did that one. He's going to finish the sleeve.
Okay.
Topper.
He's legit.
Yeah, he
legit.
is.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're pricey. But they're good. It's not a cheap hobby by any means. No. But if you're going to look at it every day, it's got to be good stuff. All right, brother. All right, now I'll let you go.
All right.
Cool, man.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it, bro.
Great time.